one of the things we want to try to make sure is when the Weather Service is getting to the point where they're looking at issuing a flash flood warning, that they have all the tools that they need and the data available to get that done. So, where's the laser on here? Okay, thank you. So real quick, what you're looking at here, it's kind of tough to see this map, but all of these blue little balloons here all represent existing gauges that are up in Oak Creek Canyon and West Fork area. And these are all gauges that are maintained and have been put in place by the Yavapai County Flood Control District. Obviously, Yavapai County has a vested interest in knowing what's going on with this water when it gets down to here in Sedona and Yavapai County. We're also looking at installing three, and hopefully Dan Cherry can talk a little bit about this, where they're at on that, installing 3 additional gauges in there in some of these critical watershed areas, so the Weather Service has even better data when they're getting to the point for issuing those flash flood warnings. Excuse me. So what are our concerns for getting the flash flood warnings out to you, in the general public? Well, one thing we know is there's little to no cell phone service down in the canyon. So that right off the bat limits some of the power of our code red notification system. I think probably most of you at this point, since I saw a lot of hands in the canyon, have already heard or received a code red notification. So you know that comes to your cell phone, your landline, it'll email you, it'll text you, or it'll use the smartphone app. But without that cell service or data service in the canyon, that pretty much limits those notifications going to your landline. We know we get a large number of visitors in the canyon, so they aren't going to be signed up for Code Red. And we know we're going to have a very short notice from when you get warning to when you may be seeing floodwaters. So what are some of the methods we can use? Well, as I said, Code Red. And then we know that the system works. We're very confident in the system, and we know what its capabilities are. And I hope every single person in this room is signed up. And if you're not, we have computers out in the lobby, so don't leave until we do get you signed up. We have the emergency alert system in place, which is administered in Coconino County by the National Weather Service. So those are the tones and the emergency messages you get over your TV or over your radio. But you have to be listening to your radio or watching your TV to get those messages. We know we have weather radio, and there is intermittent coverage of weather radio throughout the canyon. And we have other methods, portable message boards like we're showing up there, the possibility of using a portable radio station down in the canyon, the education that we're giving you all right now. But one other big capability that we have in Oak Creek Canyon that is pretty unique to all of Coconino County is the existence of our siren system in there. We have 9 sirens up and down at various locations in the county, or in the canyon. Okay, the problem with the siren system is it has only been used intermittently over the past several years, maybe close to a decade at this point. We are going to change that. And the siren system is now going to be fully implemented to advise you of the issuance of a flash flood warning. One of the first things we're going to do to start this is we're going to implement a full system test of the siren system 1 week from today, June the 26th, which is Thursday at 2 p.m. We're going to activate every siren in the system. We're also testing the entire warning process, from the Weather Service going through their process on how they issue a warning, to how the Sedona Fire District is notified to activate the sirens, to CAF radio going live on air, announcing that the sirens are going off and why they are. And we are also going to station over 20 community emergency response team volunteers throughout the canyon and at every siren site to be absolutely certain that they're functioning properly and to determine how well they can be heard in various locations. We would like you, during the siren test, to test yourselves at the same time. This is an excellent time for you to practice getting to your safe location on your property, or if you're going to evacuate, whatever you determine is best for yourself and your location. And we would also like you to practice how you're going to get that additional information. When you hear the siren, what do you do next? Well, first you get to your safe area, and then how are you going to get that additional information? Are you going to get it off television? Are you going to get it off weather radio? Are you going to tune to 92.9 and get the additional information there? We want you to practice this. And finally, you've heard that we are now in a new situation here in the canyon. What were once storms that may happen over the monsoon season that were never really a concern are now most definitely a concern. So we're asking you to prepare yourselves to hear these sirens going off much more frequently than you're used to in the past. I talked to Brian Klimowski before this meeting, and he said last year alone there were 10 storms that formed up and rained in Oak Creek Canyon that last year did not trigger a flash flood warning, but this year, in these circumstances and these conditions, would trigger a flash flood warning. So these are all going to be parts of the puzzle, parts of the system that are going to be utilized to let you know that something dangerous is about to happen. We're going to use code red, we're going to use the emergency alert system, we're going to use weather radio, we're going to use the sirens, and they will all be happening simultaneously in the hopes that everybody will get that message. Again, the importance for all of you now is to determine what is the best way you think you're going to receive that notification, and then learn now what you need to do to make sure that you're ready the next time your phone rings or that siren goes off.